Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. Providing support, getting the right treatment, and learning how to live beyond the diagnosis is what's required to help anyone who is currently diagnosed with this chronic autoimmune disease, lupus. The Lupus Foundation of Jamaica, in partnership with the Ministry of Health, has been supporting lupus patients to navigate the challenges of the disease and manage their health. So, here to discuss more on lupus awareness is President of the Lupus Foundation of Jamaica, Dr. Desiree Tulloch-Reed. Welcome to the program, Dr. Tulloch-Reed.
Thank you.
All right.
Good to be here.
Great. Now, right there in the intro, autoimmune disease. Could you really just give us a very quick understanding of lupus as an autoimmune disease? What's that?
Well, that's a good question. The term autoimmune disease may sound mysterious sometimes, but you can break down the word. Auto really means self,
right,
and immune refers to your immune system.
Right.
So what happens in an autoimmune disorder is that our immune systems that normally protect us from infections or other threats by fighting them off actually end up turning against us. So the immune system becomes dysfunctional, and it starts instead to attack healthy organs and tissues, generating inflammation and causing damage to the tissues, and this leads to illness.
Right.
And there are actually many different kinds of autoimmune conditions. Very often they may attack a particular organ, for instance, many kinds of thyroid disease, or even childhood diabetes, maybe autoimmune, or certain skin conditions. But lupus is considered one of the most serious because with lupus, almost any organ or tissue can become involved.
So how do you diagnose lupus?
So the diagnosis sometimes of lupus is straightforward, other times not so much. They sometimes refer to lupus as the disease of many faces.
Is that tied to the fact that it can impact everywhere, anywhere?
Yes, and so it can present itself in so many different ways because no one person with lupus is the same. So there are some ways that people may commonly present. It may not tell you exactly what is happening, but it can be a warning sign to be checked out. So a common symptom would be just fatigue, unexplained fatigue, lack of energy, getting fevers, swollen lymph nodes. So it can feel like you're getting dengue or something.
Right.
Person's joint pain is another common symptom. It could be any joint, multiple joints. Another common symptom can be rashes, especially unusual skin rashes, like rashes that scar or rashes that occur in places that are exposed to the sun. And there's a classic rash that persons may have across the cheeks and the nose bridge, and they often refer to that as a butterfly rash. And I think that's why sometimes you see a reference to the butterfly as a symbol in lupus. So these are some common symptoms, but depending on where you're being affected, people may have their hair fall out. So hair fall out in patches or all over. Persons may get little ulcers in the nose and the mouth recurrently. There's a symptom we call Raynaud's phenomenon, where your fingers actually change color, turn blue or purple or white when it's cold. So these are some symptoms. Persons may even present with swelling if they have kidney involvement, which may lead them to retain water.
Okay.
And so the list goes on. I mean,
Right.
you can have it affecting your heart, your lung, chest pain, breathlessness. It can be a range of things, and it can be a cause of anemia or low blood counts, so.
So you have symptoms like this, you head to the doctor, they will handle the diagnosis. And I'm very curious about this because it seems like such a diverse impacts. Are there different kinds of lupus?
Yes. You can have, we would actually refer to, most times when we use the term lupus, we're referring to systemic lupus, or the long version is systemic lupus erythematosus.
Oh boy.
That was the original.
Right.
But the term lupus is often used for different kinds of conditions. But most times nowadays we're referring to systemic lupus, and related to it there is what we call cutaneous lupus, which is lupus that affects the skin only without affecting any organs or systems internally. So we call that cutaneous lupus.
Understood. Thank you for that. How many Jamaicans are living with lupus?
We don't have exact numbers. The estimates that we have usually lie around 6,000, based on the rates that are observed in Afro-Caribbean populations like ours.
Right. Okay. And what systems of support are there for persons living with lupus?
Well, I volunteer with Lupus Foundation of Jamaica, and I think that we're not the only organization of this kind in different parts of the world where there's a need for support. Persons with lupus deal with many things. As you heard, they may experience debilitating symptoms, including sometimes side effects from treatment. There's a disruption very often of daily life. And if you think of the age group involved, it's unlike most chronic conditions, lupus is often considered a disease of the young. The average age of onset is 22 years old.
Wow.
And there is no cure for lupus yet. And so you can imagine the burden of an illness, especially where there's a potential of a life-threatening illness, and what the implications are for day-to-day life, having to have a life of doctor's appointments, of medications, sometimes many medications, lots of testing, and so on. Even if you're doing well, just to make sure you stay well, having to keep that up. So when, you're at the peak of your productive lives, when you're starting a young family, you're working or studying. So support is really, really important. First of all, it can provide information, so actually understanding your illness, learning the practical ways to cope with and to sort of navigate the whole experience.
Knowledge is power. Doc,
knowledge is power.
I do need to break you right here now. We're going to go to a very quick break, but this is fascinating, and I want you to tell us some more about what support is available. But please stay with us. The conversation continues right after this.
The public sector touches the life of every single Jamaican. And that is why the government is transforming the way the public sector operates by making better use of technology to improve the delivery of public services, by improving the compensation of public sector workers to attract and retain the skills needed to run a modern and efficient public service, through the training of workers to drive performance, innovation, and decision-making, by reducing waste and eliminating corruption, and other measures to make sure the country gets the best value from every dollar spent. The government of Jamaica is building a better public sector for all.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We're continuing our discussion on lupus awareness as we've been talking about support, and we've been discussing all of this with our guest, President of the Lupus Foundation of Jamaica, Dr. Desiree Tuller-Reid. Doc, you're leading us through support, how important it was, psychological, social, all of that.
Yeah, because living with lupus, as we said, in addition to the disease itself, lupus patients may face delayed diagnosis, difficulty accessing specialized care, as I said, navigating just the whole coping situation, dealing with even the stress of living with a condition that may be poorly understood by others.
Right.
And so that's what we deal with at Lupus Foundation. We're seeking to address all the needs. So this is really a patient-based, it's a patient-based, member-based, volunteer-run organization. Right. And since 1984, we've been providing public awareness, education, because this is important for early diagnosis. We also provide support through our help center, which is at 7 Barbados Avenue. Persons can call in if they need help finding a treatment center, they need advice, they can be part of a support community.
Can they visit?
They can visit, they can come in, get materials to read or videos to watch. They can just, they can get access to a support network, peers or health professionals that can help address the issues that they're having. There's the financial part, because there is help with dealing with maybe expenses that they may have, because treatment can be expensive.
Okay.
We have a discount program in which we have a number of partners that help to defray the cost. Persons get free counseling. They get connected to the newsletter, so they are notified of things happening, monthly support group meetings. So a lot of these things are, and just being part of a support community, knowing you're not alone. So advocacy is part of what we do, making sure that the lupus agenda is up there, and and that's been successful in terms of the response we've been getting through the government. So I think it's a partnership, and so these are the things that matter.
I see. So October, Lupus Awareness Month, and I understand that there's something happening on October 15.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about October 15 and the other events during the month.
Absolutely. Lupus Awareness Month is our biggest public awareness campaign of the year. All throughout the year we do engage with communities and so on, but this year we ramp it up.
Okay.
And so we are observing Lupus Awareness Month under a special theme called Loop Us, You, Me, Us, Stronger Together. So we're to play on loop. There's a play on the last 2 letters of lupus.
Right.
So it's you, me, us, stronger together, and that's really just it's a call to action, and it's a nod to the community that has been involved in making sure that persons with lupus do well, not just survive but thrive. And so it means that we all have a role, in showing support, learning all we can, and making a difference.
Right.
So lupus is not just one person's issue. So we have a lot happening this month, and I'll highlight 2 major events that are coming up still. On October 15, which is a Sunday, the Heroes Weekend, at 5 to 8 in the evening.
I notice you're stressing this.
In the evening, yes, because lupus patients shouldn't be in the sun too long. So in the evening, we have our annual Laps for Lupus Awareness Lapathon fundraiser. It's a family-friendly fundraising event. So the fundraising goes on before. So you register or you donate or you sign up your friends to pay you to do laps. And you show up and just have fun with us.
At Emancipation.
At Emancipation Park.
Right.
Yes, on Sunday, October 15, 5 to 8 p.m. So the other big event we have, and this is free to the public, our annual Lupus Symposium. This is the 34th annual Lupus Symposium. We're focusing on lupus and the heart. So many people are not aware of the impact of lupus on the heart, but heart disease is one of the major factors that can affect lupus outcomes.
Thank you so much for that. You've given us 2 things to attend and a lot to think about. So, Doc, in the very last few seconds of the interview, I want you to speak directly to our audience. Just lay on them a bit of awareness about this thing, lupus.
So I just want to say to anyone out there who is affected by lupus that there is hope. You are not alone. There is support. And so we invite you to be part of our community. And for the population out there, lupus affects everyone. Get to know lupus, get involved, and show your support. Help us dispel stigma and remove that sense of isolation that persons may affect. And let's get involved. It's about us, you, me, and us. So we're stronger together.
Thank you. A call to action, a call to community around lupus. This has been Get the Facts. Our guest today was President of the Lupus Foundation of Jamaica, Dr. Desiree Teller-Reed. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take good care.